Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk about 5 things that I use in DaVinci Resolve in pretty much every single project. So let's jump into it. And the very first thing is motion VFX. I'm not a motion graphics guy. I just honestly don't have the time to really jump in and learn Fusion like I really like to. And that's where motion VFX comes in. They have a ton of titles and templates and all kinds of different things to just really level up the production value in your DaVinci Resolve projects. And the cool thing is there's a lot of customization built in to where you can do a lot of stuff honestly from the edit page. But if you are Fusion savvy, you can go in there and customize things even more, which is pretty awesome. I use it on all of my videos, whether it's my YouTube content creation or for my client work. And a lot of my clients are always really impressed by all the motion graphic stuff that I throw into the videos, even though I let motion VFX do all the heavy lifting with their titles and templates. All right, moving on from the edit page to the Fairlight page. This is actually built in. It's not a paid thing. And I use this on every video. That's in the presets library. So if you go up to the menu bar, click on Fairlight and go to presets library, you can actually save some presets to the different tracks or whatever that you want to just help with like repeatable processes. In order to get this to work for the first time, you set up all the different tools and plugins that you'd want to use on that track and then save it as a preset. And then later on, you can recall that so that you don't have to go in and add every single one of those tools over and over again if you're in a repeatable process, something like this with the YouTube Studio. Or I've also used it on like online courses or my client work where I'm doing like a multi-day shoot and there's a bunch of different modules. I'll EQ and add all the tools to the different audio sources that I have from that particular shoot. And since it's a bunch of different modules, I can go in and quickly just apply that preset to that track so I don't have to copy and paste different settings and stuff. So it just makes the process a lot easier and much more efficient. That's all on the Fairlight page. Like I said, it's completely free. It's already built into DaVinci Resolve, which is awesome. Moving on to the color page, and the very first thing we'll talk about is Dehancer. I absolutely love Dehancer. It is such an awesome tool. This is probably the best film emulation plugin out there for DaVinci Resolve, at least in my opinion. I've used a number of them and I just keep going back to Dehancer because of just how good the results look. So you have like film stocks that you can choose from, which is awesome. Like Vision 3 obviously is like super popular, and then different print options. But you also have other tools that I use all the time. Like film grain is probably the most used tool that I use in Dehancer. It basically looks at the contrast level and applies the grain there. So you have much more finesse and control over the film grain, and it's way better than just like a film grain overlay. You also have bloom and halation and like gate weave and all these things to just really emulate film. I made a review on it probably a year, maybe 2 years ago, and they've made a lot of updates since. So I probably need to make an updated video on it because it's just that good of a tool. Now the price might seem a little steep up front, but the results are totally worth it. And if you're just getting into it, and I even know professional colorists that use Dehancer because of how powerful that tool is. So, you know, if professional colorists are using it, I think it's well worth the investment. All right, moving on to the next one. And this is a pretty new one to me. And this is the Mononode Utility DCTL. I discovered it through Darren Mostyn's channel, and I hope I pronounced that name right. He does has a great overview of the tool. It's an amazing tool, and basically what it does is allows you to get a quick indication of your skin tones. That's really the main reason I would use this tool, is to get a good representation of your skin tones. And basically if you know how false color works with exposure, you can kind of think of it in that way with skin tones. Basically it maps skin tones to a certain color, kind of like false color would. And this is just a really great way to get a quick visual representation of your skin tones. And the great thing is you don't have to use a qualifier, and so you can kind of see the whole scene in and of itself, and you can see multiple talent in the actual scene, so you don't have to use qualifiers or power windows or anything. So it's just a really quick way to make sure that your skin tones are super accurate and super dialed in. It is a paid plugin, but you can go to Darren's video and use his code. I can't remember what it was, but it was like 10% off. So even though it's a pretty new tool to me, I can see the power and the utility, no pun intended, in using this tool. And this is something that I'm going to use going forward because it's just much quicker and easier to use than doing qualifiers and power windows and all that kind of good stuff. So that is the Mononode Utility DCTL. I'll leave a link in the description below. So lastly, the very last thing is a shameless plug for me, and that is going to be my personal LUTs, the TE LUTs. You can find them on my website. I'll leave a link below. And yeah, this is a shameless plug, but I use them all the time. I have Canon, Sony, and a red LUT, which the red LUT is more of a creative LUT because red's technical transform LUTs are already really good. So I didn't need to reinvent the wheel there, but it kind of made a creative, like filmy, vibey look. I think I even called it vibe. I have some Sony ones, which don't use as much anymore because I don't have an A7S III anymore. But when I do use S-Log3 footage, I use these LUTs because I really like how they look. And then I have my Canon LUTs, which are my most popular LUTs. I have Canon Log 2 LUTs, which is their flattest log profile. And then I have Canon Log 3 LUTs, both in the Canon Cinema gamut and the Rec 709 gamut. So if you are on the C200, you can use the Rec 709 gamut LUTs for Canon Log 3, and then if you have like the Canon R5 or R6 Mark II, you can use the Canon Log 3 Cinema Gamut LUTs, which I use all the time on my R5. Anytime I'm using my R5 for a vlog or for B-roll or whatever the case may be, you are looking at my LUTs, and they're used all over the place. I get feedback all the time that people really like them. And then I also have Canon Log 1 LUTs, which there aren't a lot of them out there, but if you got like the C100 Mark II or something like that, or if you're using Canon Log 1 on whatever mirrorless camera that has Canon Log 1, I think like the R5, I think still has Canon Log 1 on it. I have that both in the neutral color profile and the Cinema EOS color profile, and I think they look pretty good if I do so say myself. But that is it for DaVinci Resolve tools that I use. That's all I gotta say. So I'm gonna cut it off. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite plugins or tools are for DaVinci Resolve. I will leave links to anything that is relevant to a link in the description below, and that's pretty much it. Hope you had a fantastic 2023, and I hope you have an even better 2024. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the comments. Peace.